My dear friends, my brothers and sisters, some people listen not to understand, but to measure you. They don't want to help your dreams grow. They want to know how big they are so they can judge, doubt, or quietly destroy them. That is why your dreams, your plans, and your pay and need protection. Not everyone who listens wants the best for you. And this is a truth many people learn too late. Some people listen with curiosity, some with comparison, and some with quiet jealousy. They nod, they smile, they say the right words, but inside they are collecting information not to support you, but to measure you. They want to know how far you want to go, how big you are thinking, how serious you are about changing your life. Not because they care, but because your growth makes them uncomfortable. There are people who ask questions not to help, but to judge. They want details, timelines, numbers, plans. They want to know what you're doing next, how you're doing it, and why you think you can do it. Their interest feels warm at first, but slowly you realize it comes with doubt, sarcasm, or subtle discouragement. They might not openly tell you to stop, but their reactions make you feel small, confused, or unrealistic. Some people listen only to repeat your story somewhere else. What you share and trust becomes entertainment in another room. Your struggles turn into gossip. Your dreams turn into jokes, and your private moments lose their dignity. You start hearing your own words coming back to you, twisted, exaggerated, misunderstood, and that hurts more than silence ever could. Then there are people who listen and compare. They measure your goals against their limitations. If they failed, they assume you will too. If they never tried, they can't understand why you would. Their advice is often wrapped in fear, not wisdom. They tell you to be careful, to stay realistic, to not expect too much. What they really mean is, don't go where we couldn't go. Not everyone has the emotional capacity to hold your truth. Some people feel threatened by growth because it reminds them of their own stagnation. Your ambition becomes a mirror they don't want to look into. So instead of working on themselves, they question you. Instead of supporting your journey, they highlight every risk, every obstacle, every possible failure. There are also people who listen and disappear when things get hard. They are present when your story sounds inspiring, when your ideas feel exciting, when your future looks bright. But the moment struggle shows up, their attention fades. They don't want to hear about patience, sacrifice, or discipline. They only wanted the version of your story that felt good to them. Listening is not the same as caring. Caring requires intention, maturity, and selflessness. Many people lack these qualities even if they don't lack words. They can listen for hours and still not stand with you when it matters. They can hear everything and still hope you fail just so they feel better about staying where they are. That is why discernment is necessary. You don't owe everyone access to your inner world. You don't have to explain your vision to people who haven't earned your trust. Protecting your words is protecting your direction. Once something is said, it cannot be taken back, and once doubt enters your mind, it takes effort to remove it. Some dreams are fragile in their early stages. They need belief more than feedback, commitment more than commentary. Sharing them with the wrong ears can weaken your confidence, slow your pace, and make you question yourself unnecessarily. Not because your dream is wrong, but because the listener was wrong. Not everyone who listens wants the best for you. And understanding this changes how you move, how you speak, and how you choose your circle. Your heart and your dreams are not public property. Even though the world often makes you feel like they should be, from a young age, many people are taught to explain themselves, to justify their choices, to share their plans so others feel comfortable. Slowly, this creates a habit of opening doors that were meant to stay closed. Not every emotion needs to be explained, and not every dream needs an audience. Your heart carries experiences that shaped you, moments that broke you, and hopes that keep you moving forward. These things are personal. When you share them too easily, you give people access to places they may know. Some will walk through gently, but many will enter carelessly, leaving marks you did not invite. Once those marks are there, they stay longer than words. Dreams are delicate in the beginning. They are built on belief, not proof. When you speak them out loud too soon, they become vulnerable to opinions that were never asked for. People project their fears, failures, and limitations onto what you are trying to build. They might say they are being honest or realistic, but their words can quietly damage your confidence. The need for validation pushes many people to overshare. They want reassurance, approval, or applause. But when your motivation depends on others clapping, it becomes unstable. Some days people will support you, other days they will doubt you, and your energy will rise and fall with their reactions. This makes your journey exhausting and uncertain. Your heart is not a discussion topic. Your pain is not a debate. Your healing does not require permission. When you explain too much, you invite people to judge things they were never meant to evaluate. They may question your choices, minimize your struggles, or suggest solutions without understanding the depth of what you carry. There is a difference between being open and being exposed. Openness is intentional, selective, and safe. Exposure is careless and draining. When everything is shared, nothing feels protected. You start feeling empty because too many people have taken a piece of you without giving any back. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Trust should be earned through consistency, respect, and understanding. Someone who listens once is not the same as someone who stays when things get uncomfortable. Someone who smiles is not always someone who is safe. Giving access too quickly often leads to regret. Keeping your dreams private does not mean you lack confidence. It means you value them enough to protect them. It means you understand that growth needs space, time, and focus. Silence allows you to work without pressure, to make mistakes without embarrassment, to grow without constant observation. When you stop making your life an open book, you begin to feel grounded. You move with clarity instead of confusion. You start trusting your inner voice more than external noise. Your decisions become stronger because they are rooted in purpose, not approval. Your heart and your dreams are not public property, and treating them with care is an act of self-respect, not secrecy. Silence protects your energy and focus in ways that constant talking never can. Every time you explain yourself, you spend mental and emotional strength. Every time you defend your choices, you lose a little clarity. Words take energy, especially when they are used to justify, convince, or seek approval. Silence, on the other hand, keeps your power where it belongs within you. When you talk too much about your plans, your mind feels busy, but your progress slows down. You start confusing movement with achievement. Speaking gives a temporary feeling of relief, as if something has been done. Even when nothing has changed, silence removes that false comfort and pushes you back into action where real growth happens. Focus is fragile. It breaks easily when too many voices enter your head. Opinions, advice, doubts, and comparisons begin to compete with your own thoughts. Silence acts like a filter. It keeps unnecessary noise out and allows you to hear yourself clearly. When you are quiet, your direction becomes sharper and your decisions become cleaner. Silence also protects you from reacting emotionally. When you respond immediately, you often speak from hurt, anger, or insecurity. These reactions cost energy and create regret. Choosing silence gives you time to breathe, to think, and to respond with intention instead of impulse. That pause alone can save relationships, opportunities, and self-respect. Many people underestimate how draining conversations can be. Not all interactions are equal. Some leave you motivated while others leave you tired without any clear reason. Oversharing, explaining, or defending your life choices to the wrong people slowly drains your strength. Silence acts as a boundary, protecting you from emotional exhaustion. Silence does not mean you have nothing to say. It means you are choosing when and where to speak. It is control, not suppression. When your words become fewer, they gain weight. People listen more carefully, and you listen or deeply. This balance increases your awareness and presence. In silence, you notice things you would normally miss. Your habits, your patterns, your distractions become clearer. You start recognizing what truly matters and what only pretends to matter. This awareness sharpens your focus and aligns your energy toward meaningful work instead of scattered effort. Silence helps you detach from validation. When you stop seeking reactions, you stop adjusting your behavior to please others. Your actions become self-driven instead of audience-driven. This shift saves a huge amount of mental energy that was previously wasted on worrying about opinions and outcomes you cannot control. There is also strength in not responding to everything. Not every comment needs a reply. Not every misunderstanding needs correction. Choosing silence in these moments protects your peace and keeps your focus intact. It allows you to stay committed to your path instead of getting pulled into unnecessary battles. Silence creates a calm inner environment where creativity and discipline can grow. Your mind becomes less crowded. Your goals become clearer and your effort becomes more intentional. Energy that was once spent on talking, explaining, and reacting gets redirected into building, learning, and becoming. Oversharing invites unnecessary opinions and doubt, even when it feels harmless at first. Many people share because they want connection, understanding, or relief. Talking makes emotions feel light for a moment, but it also opens doors that were meant to stay closed. Once something is shared, it no longer belongs only to you. It becomes subject to interpretation, judgment, and reaction. Not everyone gives opinions with care. Some speak from their own fears, not from wisdom. When you overshare your plans, people often respond based on what they could or could not do in their own lives. Their words may sound practical, but they are often limited by their personal experiences. Slowly, their doubts begin to mix with your confidence. Oversharing also creates confusion in your own mind. Hearing too many perspectives pulls you in different directions. One person says, go fast. Another says, wait. Another says, stop completely. Instead of clarity, you feel overwhelmed. The excitement you once had becomes heavy with questions, and momentum is replaced by hesitation. There is a difference between seeking guidance and collecting opinions. Guidance comes from a few trusted sources who understand you. Opinions come from everywhere, often unsolicited. When you overshare, you invite feedback from people who are not invested in your growth. Their words stay in your head longer than they should. Doubt grows quietly. It does not arrive loudly or forcefully. It enters through casual comments, jokes, raised eyebrows, and half-supportive statements. Someone might say, that sounds hard, or are you sure now is the right time? These words may seem small, but they plant seeds that question on your ability and timing. Oversharing also makes you vulnerable to comparison. Once others know your plans, they begin measuring your progress. You start feeling watched, evaluated, and expected to explain delays or changes. This pressure steals joy from the process and turns growth into performance. Some people overshare to feel motivated. They talk about what they are going to do instead of doing it. This creates a false sense of progress. The brain releases satisfaction from talking, which reduces the urgency to act. As a result, action gets delayed, and doubt increases when results don't appear. Not everyone deserves access to your unfinished thoughts. Early ideas are messy. They need time to develop without interference. When shared too soon, they get shaped by other people's expectations instead of your true intention. This can lead you away from what you actually want. Oversharing can also weaken boundaries. When people know too much, they feel entitled to comment, question, or interfere. They may ask for updates, suggest changes, or express disappointment if you choose a different path. This creates emotional pressure that distracts from your purpose. Choosing to share less is an act of self-protection. It allows you to grow quietly, without noise, without doubt being fed from outside. When opinions are limited, confidence has room to strengthen. When doubt is not constantly reinforced, belief stays intact. Oversharing invites unnecessary opinions and doubt. And learning when to stay quiet helps you protect your direction, your energy, and your trust in yourself. You were not born to live someone else's dream. Yet many people spend their entire lives doing exactly that. They follow paths chosen for them, expectations handed to them, and goals that never truly belong to their heart. At first, it feels like responsibility, like obedience, like doing the right thing. But over time, it turns into quiet regret. From an early age, people are told who they should become, what success should look like, what choices are acceptable. Slowly, these voices grow louder than your own. You start measuring your life by standards that don't reflect who you are. And without realizing it, you begin chasing a future that feels empty, even when you're moving closer to it. Living someone else's dream often starts with good intentions. You don't want to disappoint your parents. You don't want to upset your family. You don't want to seem ungrateful. So you compromise. You delay your own desires. You tell yourself you'll do what you want later, but later keeps moving further away. When you live for someone else's vision, your motivation fades. You feel tired even when you're achieving things. Success doesn't feel satisfying because it isn't aligned. You reach milestones and still feel lost. That confusion is not a lack of gratitude, it is a lack of authenticity. There is a silent pressure that comes with carrying dreams that are not yours. You constantly feel behind, not because you are failing, but because your heart is not invested. Passion cannot be forced, purpose cannot be borrowed. When the dream is not yours, discipline feels heavy and progress feels hollow. Many people ignore this feeling because they fear change. Change means uncertainty. It means disappointing people. It means stepping into the unknown. So they stay where they are, convincing themselves that comfort is enough. But comfort without meaning slowly turns into frustration. Your life has its own rhythm, its own strengths, its own calling. When you ignore that, you move against yourself. You compare your journey to others and feel inadequate. You blame yourself for not being excited about a path that was never meant for you. Living someone else's dream also affects your self-worth. You start believing that your value comes from meeting expectations, not from being true. You become afraid to disappoint. Even when disappointment is the cost of honesty, this fear keeps you trapped in roles that don't fit. Choosing your own path does not mean rejecting others. It means honoring yourself. It means accepting that your life is yours to live, not a performance for approval. You stop attracting people who feed on doubt and start recognizing those who offer respect. Naturally, your energy shifts. Your standards rise. Your silence becomes stronger than your explanation. Letting go of the need to prove yourself does not happen overnight. It takes practice. The first step is trusting your own experience. Trusting that if something feels diminishing, it probably is. Trusting that you don't need permission to feel valued. You may lose people when you stop proving yourself, but those people were never attached to you. They were attached adds to the effort you put into convincing them. What remains after you stop trying is what was real all along. Your worth is not negotiable. It does not increase with approval or decrease with doubt. It exists regardless of who recognizes it. The moment you understand this, you stop explaining yourself to those who are never listening, and you stop living with quiet confidence and self-res. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe, my dear.